Welcome to the Influence Factory podcast. This program is dedicated to support professionals who have a desire to develop their digital business influence so they can navigate through a fast-paced, constantly growing digital world. We invite newcomers as well as our family of business influencers to a place to play, share ideas, questions, tips, and guidance with other thought leaders around the globe. Sit back and enjoy our program with our host Dean Delisle as he interviews guests. News and commentary is provided by Kate Hassett and Jackson Delisle. Power Move lessons are provided by the Influencer Marketing Department at Social Jack. And production, editing, and distribution is provided by the Social Jack production team.
All right, welcome to Influence Factory, episode 69, broadcasting live from Los Angeles and the Los Angeles Convention Center for the IMCX 2019. IMCX is the Influencer Marketing Conference and Expo. And here we have big brands and we have influencers alike playing side by side and working together to see how they can connect and monetize their influence. So I'm going to just cover some of the sessions. This is a little different than what we normally do. We have some shortened, condensed coverage today. We have a lot of sessions that are going on at the same time as our normal broadcast. So I'm here live with Shane Barker, my personal content king. So I always appreciate, and I was telling him yesterday, I said I probably quote him at least twice in every workshop or talk. And I didn't realize you had such a big team, but that team was started by you. So how did you get started and what inspired you to just be a content-driven person?
Yeah, started probably about 7-8 years ago when we started the blog. I was heavily invested in writing content and putting content out there. I kind of felt like this was a pivotal point of like putting education out there and educating people on how to do things, whether it's influencer marketing, SEO, anything like that. And I kind of felt like what I was learning that I could share with people and that people could learn from it. So we really started off early on wanting to educate people. And I figured at the end of the day, it's like, hey, if I educate people enough and they feel like, hey, I give them enough information that they can go do it, that's awesome. But if I give them just enough information, like, well, we don't have time for this, then who are they going to go to for the services? Probably me, right? Because I've already given them a good framework and kind of showed them how we do things, the good things and the bad things, things that have worked, things that haven't worked. And we kind of took it from there. And then after that, it's just kind of catapulted. I mean, now the website is absolutely crazy. We write for 120 different websites.
I heard you say that yesterday.
Yeah, we've got a good little foundation now, so it's been awesome. But it took a long time. I'll never forget when I first started writing my blog, and then started hiring writers. My wife's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm paying people to write my blog. And she's like, well, has it gotten any business? And I go, no. And she goes, God, that's a great investment.
Isn't it funny how wives always ask that
I know.
question?
And when she takes the card, I didn't say anything. I was like, hey, where are you going? Or how much are you going to spend? We always had that conversation afterwards. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. It was definitely an early investment early on, and we just didn't know how it was going to fare. I knew that I had a feeling it was going to do well. And now, I mean, really the way that we get almost all of our leads, other than me speaking at events and doing workshops and stuff, is going to be from our inbound marketing from content.
Wow. And so how much, because you do so much heavy written content, what is your weighted average on video versus writing, or how do you work that in?
Yeah, we do some video. It's always been one of those things that, we figured out, like, where do we want to spend our time? I mean, video is obviously the future in the sense of YouTube and all that. We've dabbled a little bit in it. We jumped into, my podcast is actually starting June 15th, so people should sign up. We're giving away Amazon gift cards. But the reason I'm saying that is that we jumped into podcasts because I really enjoy the live feature of, being able to chat with people and have the conversations. Video is just, I love it, but it's just another level. I mean, like, you guys have an awesome crew in here. You got an awesome camera and all the fun stuff. We have that. It's just between my traveling and everything else, it hasn't something that we've fully jumped into the way that we should have. For me, it's like, I don't want to go into something half-assed. I'd like to, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it all in. So it's just something that's been kind of one of those things that we just haven't fully done the way we'd like to, but, maybe one day.
All right. So what are you seeing changing with content? Because it's funny. It's almost like the same things you and I talk about have been the same things for the last 10 years. You know what I mean? It's like keywords, algorithms, things like that. And everybody talks about the algorithms changing all the time. But honestly, I don't see a huge net difference as long as you put out consistent, good content and you play the keyword game. Is there anything else you need to know?
No, I mean, from an SEO perspective, it really is keywords. It's obviously links as well, right? Being able to have, other people mention you. So whether that's PR press or whether that's going to be the writing, when I write for other websites, obviously I get a good amount of traffic from that. And so we've been able to build up that network. SEO has changed a little bit and algorithms and all that kind of fun stuff. But if you do good SEO and if you're just, making sure that once again, you stick with good keywords and you're putting out phenomenal content, you're not going to have any problems there. I mean, you just really won't. Algorithms come around and people are worried about algorithms. People that are worried about an algorithm are usually the people that are kind of running that line of maybe not putting out great content, or they're putting in too many backlinks, or they're have backlinks from bad websites. I mean, there's a lot of variables there. But if you're doing good, clean SEO, you're really not going to have any issues. You really shouldn't be affected by any algorithms.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Any quick predictions that you see in the outlook in the next few years in terms of things changing or going different directions?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the next few years that I'm going to get bigger. I mean, huge, people. That's the prediction.
Big prediction.
Yeah, I mean, that's we know that's going to happen. Well, we're hoping, anyways. No, I think prediction-wise, all joking aside, marketing. I mean, influencer marketing is real interesting, obviously, because the space is evolving, and I think there's a lot of really cool things are happening there. We've been working on the education side. Obviously, I teach a class at UCLA on influencer marketing. Really, I think that's going to be real interesting because the space is going to. I think there's a lot of interesting things that are going to happen as we've seen. But the foundation of it, I think, will stay the same, but I think it's going to be, they're going to start niching down into different markets, and the influencer space is going to be, I think it's going to fragment a little bit in a good way, just so it becomes more specific. And I think there's going to be agencies that are going to be picking up influencers like they would do a movie star or a TV star, and actually have agencies that rep one person and say, hey, listen, I'm a travel agency, and we have these 15 people that are exclusive to us, which can be good and can be bad, just depends on how you look at that. But I think in the marketing space is going to continue to evolve, right? And we're always going to have changes and stuff, which I think is why I enjoy the space, because there's always new stuff that happens. But if you stick with the core of, once again, good content, good SEO, putting out content, and distribution, I think things are going to be good.
Yeah, that's cool. One last thing. So I'm always big on the power of being authenticity. Be who you are, right? So in that sense, I noticed that a lot of people lately have been doing what they call pods, where people take collective groups of people and they intentionally are commenting and working on each other's things. And some of it almost feels forced, like it's not authentic. What's your viewpoint on that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with pods, I mean, obviously it's people are starting a network. I guess it just depends on what you're starting the pod for. Like, I don't see an issue with starting a pod and saying, hey, we're all putting out great content, and this is where we can share our content. And then if you want to comment on it or like it or do something, but less of like, hey, let's find 100 people, and every time I post something that you go and like it and you add an emoji, like, to me, that's not really right. The idea is like, I just want to put out good content and I want to share it with you. And then if you want to do something with it, that's awesome. Yeah. But I think if you're starting something to drive that traffic, in other words, you're kind of forcing people like, hey, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. Right. It becomes unauthentic, right? I mean, it becomes a situation that you don't want to do. Once again, not a problem with distribution. I mean, we do a lot of distribution with different groups that we belong to, on whether it be Slack or Facebook or all over the place. And that's great for, once again, driving the right types of traffic. But I think you can look at, I mean, one of the things that we talk about when influencer marketing is there's softwares out there and it's awesome, but you can look at some software is only the first level of this, right? I mean, you have the second level of, hey, people are they have a great engagement rate, and you go look at their profile and there's 50 emojis and there's no real comments, and you have to assume that that's not real engagement, right? And so I think those are the kind of things you have to look for, and it's usually pretty easy, even though people are worried about fake followers and all this kind of stuff. You can look at a profile, you should be able to eyeball a profile and go, you know what, that seems right or that doesn't seem right. And the cool part about it is influencer marketing is there's millions of influencers. So if you see somebody and it doesn't, we call the sniff test, or you look at it and you're like, well, I don't know if it seems right, then why go with them, right? Go with somebody else that you look at and you say, hey, this is somebody that I think resonates better with our brand. The engagement, the true engagement is there, and it's somebody that we'd want to work with.
Awesome. Well, Shane, thanks for your time. It's always a pleasure having you, and look forward to hearing more of your content.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.